Hello, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Makakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone rule well. I am not a member, however, I've entered into their labors. Peace and mercy to the sincere brothers and sisters doing this wherever you are, whatever your lot may be. Back at you with another quick one. I think that, if the Spirit allows, I'm going to continue, or this will be the first installment, but I think I'm going to continue on with this as I read through it. I have the hard copy here, but I pulled up the PDF, and I'm going to follow some of the notes I made as I was reading. I think I got to page 30, maybe page 40, but we won't go that far in. Okay, we're just going to get a couple of things out of this book and grab a couple of scriptures and, maybe bring some things out here and there, and then that will be the video. However, I'm not going to read into this a lot. Fair use, fair use, fair use. I'm not making money off of this. This is just for education. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to leave out certain words, all right? And we're going to grab a couple things. And first thing I want to get is on page 2. So let's scroll down. First, before we do anything, let's get a scripture. And this is going to come out so many times, because it just fits. All right, this is Jeremiah 49:20. Therefore, hear the counsel of Yahweh that he hath taken against Edom, and his purposes that he hath purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. And then I want to get one more. And of course, you understand the I will refer to. We'll refer to here as Company I, okay? So Company I and Babylon the Great are linked, and Elder Malcolm has gotten, he has a video of these rabbis talking about how, modern or Western Christianity is Edom, and, pretty much they're telling the truth about the destruction, but what they're not telling the truth about is that they're a part of that destruction. Company I and Babylon the Great are linked. According to prophecy, they are linked. They are both Edomites, and Edom will be rooted out no matter where they are. And now I want to get one more. Actually, it's Genesis 6. No, this is 3. Okay. Understand the serpent. Okay, it's not an actual snake. This is somebody with a sneaky. Is the spirit. Okay, very sneaky, very subtle. Thou shalt not surely die. Very slick with his words. Very intentional in his movement as far as accomplishing a goal, which we'll tie that in just a second. All right. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which our power had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said, ye shall not eat of the fruit of every tree? Right? Kind of probing and asking her. And she's like, yeah, we just not supposed to eat from that one. I'm like, why not? It ain't like you gonna die. You know what I'm saying? Tree's a tree. Fruit here, fruit there. How you gonna know? It is what it is, right? Very slick, very subtle, very intentional in his deceit and his deception. Okay, and that spirit was passed on to Cain, and that spirit was passed on to Esau, which is why when he sold the birthright and then tried to backdoor Jacob and say that his brother stole it, which of course this was something that was meant to happen. It was ordained in the heavens. The Lord just loves a good show. All right. Oh, I don't know if you saw the author, but I mean, you can screenshot that. The book I think is probably like between 10 and 15 bucks actually on Amazon. I bought this a couple years ago. Okay, this came out in 2014. Yeah, I think I got about right here. So I want page 2. Scroll past the preface because there's a specific thing I wanted to get regarding, the least of the flock. This is 2. This page 2. Okay, yes, right here. All right. Okay. This is the special relationship with Company I came about. All right, so driven by the American, blah 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 blah. The facts don't support this theory, right? A lot of folks were against it, but what happened, I can sum it up, is there were people who were in key positions of power, specifically like the Supreme Court and in these universities, where I've said thousands of times before, that is where they indoctrinate the minds of the people, of the children, and then the children go forth, and under that vibration, the future quote unquote leaders, and they live that, they live that credo, okay, that was passed on by their professors that they highly regard, or that other scholars, other so-called experts hold in high regard, so that way, they say these students should as well. But it is pushed on them from an early age, and then especially when you leave mommy and daddy's house and you get to college, these ideologies and these things that you feel you should think, are not you. The things that your what is it? Your mind is shaped within academia. Okay, and that is how they slithered serpently their way into key positions or were in the ear of decision makers. Okay. I-Company lobby is considered more powerful and pervasive than other lobbies, obviously, because this aged very well, as we can see 10 years later. Okay, they worked underground secretly, even illegally, throughout the history and documented by scholars and participants. Okay. 100 years, Americans completely unaware of this movement and its attendant ideology. Let's go, blah, blah, blah. Success of this movement achieves its goals partially due to hidden nature. Okay, success of this movement to achieve its goals partially due to hidden nature. Much of its activity has been staggering. Also come at unimaginable cost. Okay. Massive tragedy, all right, in Western Asia. Okay, violence, loss, sacred land soaked in sorrow. And now when the real people came back, according to prophecy, right? It says beat your beat your swords into pruning hooks, right? There will be no war, and that the law would go out of Jerusalem. Damn, we need that. Alright, so we get that real quick. So, okay, you can do Isaiah 2 and 3. So I'll just read it right here, Isaiah 2 and 3. And many people shall go and say, come ye, let us go up, for our Zion shall go forth. For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and Yahweh's word from Jerusalem. And we'll get Micah 4 and 2. And let's see what it says in the NLT. People from many nations will come and say, come, let us go to the mountain of Yahweh, to the house of Jacob's God. Alright, there he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths, for Yahweh's teachings will go out from Zion, and his word will go out from Jerusalem. Okay, so that proper vibration, the earth being run the way it was intended to be run, so that it can return to a paradise. Clean air, clean water, clean food. The animals that were meant to clean will be cleaning and not be used for food. Just all around. And generally, the term I'm looking for is order, complete order, and everything is set back right. Because as it stands, everything has been turned on its head, right? The earth was given to the hands of the wicked. That is Job 9 and 24. And with that, has a wicked spirit and a backward spirit, a death culture, a perverse life, or a perverse death style. Is the norm. And so when somebody comes with order, or somebody speaks of something that is promoting life, you would looked at like you have three heads. It's insane. And a tree by its fruit, right? So what fruit is going out of the let me calm down. What fruit is coming out of the Holy Land right now, right? And also according to prophecy, it says that it will be trodden down of the Gentiles until it be fulfilled, to the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled, right? All these things make it so, those who have eyes to see and ears to hear understand that these people ain't it, okay? And it also serves as a barometer in the current time and prophecy that we are in, which is nearing the end very shortly. Salakia, give me just a second. Alright, we back. Okay. Alright, led to massive tragedy, damaging the U.S. itself. Okay, so they're going over the two-part examination of the pro-I company movement. Okay. And has targeted virtually every significant sector of American society. Worked to involve Americans in tragic, unnecessary, and profoundly costly wars. You see? Alright. And dominated Congress for decades. And this is the thing that you see here, okay? And I'm going to skip down. You see that right here. Boom, 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 boom. And I'm going to skip down. All this for a population that is considerably smaller than New Jersey, right? The least of the flock. Not only are they least in population, least in number, they are least in heart. They are least in national stature. All right, these are skeevy, low-lives, snakes, basically. When all their dirt is, everything that they do is in the shadow. They will not stand man to man, and that is throughout almost throughout their entire nation. As you can see, they have no problems attacking women and children, but when they have to go up against other grown men, they crumble. They are taken out swiftly, like that. Okay, so least of the flock in many different aspects. All right, there is a couple of names, so whoever happened to see this, there's a couple of names you're gonna need to look into. Okay, so we're gonna look for Theodore Herzl, and I believe it's like within the first paragraph on chapter 2. I company lobbying the U.S. known as political. Okay, so you can look into that. All right, actually, you know what? Why not? Let's see what it says. I'm sure the definition has changed now. Alright. A fake nationalist, fake people nationalist movement that advocates for the establishment of a state. Alright, okay, on top of where people already are. Right. One nation that the only way to address that dog whistle, that talking point, that narrative control right here is to establish a state. Okay, and I believe that's where we're gonna go in, where it talks about Theo Herzl. Okay, blah 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 blah. Late 1800s goal of creating, right? Okay, led by journalist Theodore Herzl. Okay, coalesced, which pretty much means to bring together, to join. The first movement, or the first Z word Congress held in Basel, Switzerland, which established the world, the WZO. 900 the next year there was. So 117 groups the first year, 900 in the next. Argentina, Uganda, Mediterranean island, and Texas. Eventually settled on where we are now, right? Okay, I'll fast forward to today. 93 to 96%. And that first day they got there, it was war. All out war. Bombings and everything. Because you don't belong. Okay, so who is okay, Austrian political activist, propagandist, and diplomat who had much to do with the making. What famous statement was he known for? It goes without saying, blah 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 blah, can have no other goal than P-Town, and that whatever the fate of the proposition may be, our attitude towards the land of our fathers. The land of our fathers. Really? Huh. Dang, what scripture is it? No, I mean, yeah, we can get this too, John 8 and 44, when he's talking to Israelites, but, the devil of this world, the deceiver of this world is Esau, Edom, right? And that is their father. That's who he's talking, referring to. But he's speaking to other Israelites, the Pharisees. I want this one, so we'll read that. We'll read John. I'm on load page. John 8 and 44. So we'll read that. But there's goeth forth from the womb, speaking lies. That's what I want. Alright, the truth will make you free. Okay. Alright, so they're having a discourse back and forth. Alright, talking about, alright, we be Abraham's seed. Alright, we never in bondage to any man. How sayest that ye shall be made free? Okay, so then Yahushua is saying, like, you can't really boast in that. You know, the Lord can raise up rocks. He can raise up anything and make it the seed, you know. Check your pride, basically. So Yahushua goes on to say, I speak which I have seen from my Father, and ye do which ye have seen with your father, all right, which is the God of this world. So we're going to fast forward, and I just want to grab that specific part where it says, ye are of your father, the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, Cain, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. Now, I also want from the womb. The womb has to be in there so many times. From the womb speaking lies. That's what I need. And I cannot find where it is. Psalms 58 and 3. Okay, so let's get that. Okay, so the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. And as they breathing, they're lying. Now, where are we at? Okay, so let's get one more thing. We read who Herzl is, so you should look into him. All right, and then I want No. I have the book in front of me now, so I wanna. Okay, so we'll end it on this one. This is just gonna something really short, so this is page 6. How many far did we do? Bear with me just a second. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 more from here. Okay. Now here's another name. I want you, 2 names actually. I want you to Slovakia. It is going to be Brandeis, okay, and Frankfurter. Okay, so these 2 names here, Supreme Court Justice. Damn, lost my page. Brandeis and Frankfurter. These are the 2 names I want you to look into if you, when you find the time. Brandeis. Louis D. Brandeis, okay. And he was allegedly a staunch secret Z group support, or of the Z group, okay. And his associate, which was, they kept their relationship a secret, which they knew was unethical, was Frankfurter, okay. We don't need that. Okay, historian Bruce Allen Murphy. I'm just going to scroll through this so I can see. Okay, yeah, reported that Brandeis and Frankfurter had a secretly collaborated over many years in numerous covert political activities. Okay, Now, if you fast forward into this book, I'm not going to be able to find it in here, but if you fast forward, it's going to talk about their time at Princeton, or I believe Yale University, Harvard. Okay, yeah, Harvard created a position for Frankfurter. Then Murphy writes, for the next 25 years, Frankfurter shaped the minds of the generations of the nation's most elite law students, right? Okay, shaping the minds to what? Right here. So those are the names I want you. Brandeis, okay, Frankfurter, because you know these I believe, where's Skull and Bones at? I think that's at Princeton. I don't know, but you know they have these little societies, and whether you have to give oaths, okay, and to keep secrets of certain sorts, okay. And that's the name of their little order, their fraternal order, the Parashim, or like it means Pharisee in their broken, bastardized language. Okay. Rusting up both blah 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 Brandeis membership in a secret society that covertly pushed. Okay. Internationally ported the information. All right, so these are things you can all look into. I just wanted to bring something out, but you see what the whole point of me going into this, I didn't want to do a complete deep dive into the book. As I read more, I will gather more points, you know, Lord willing, but I just wanted to, you know, this was, I guess, a pilot or an opener, so you can see, you know, just how subtle this beast is, just how subtle this serpent is. They wiggle their way into certain key positions, and that is why Babylon is where it is now. Okay, and it was like the Lord set it up that way, because it was not meant to last. This place was meant to go up in smoke. Let me see if there's one more thing we can get. Right, Canaan found he was a philosopher at the University of Wisconsin. So you see, now they're all throughout academia. All right, getting into the young minds. Here's their quote: "We must work silently through education and infection." So that will go into a part 2 on education and infection. All right, how, you know, these devils, they can't outright go up against anyone. You know, it has to be silently, in the dark, cutthroat, throwing out ideas. Hey, maybe I suggest we go in a different direction. Slide you a couple 100,000, right? That's how this devil works. Okay, but the the tricks and the wiles of the devil are the success rate is coming, you know, is declining rapidly. That's what we're going. That's what I'm trying to get. So we'll end on that. We'll end on the wiles of the devil, because you gotta pay attention, especially as everything that is going out now with this shit show of an election is like and I hate to kind of branch off into something else, but it looks like a WWE episode. Alright, so here we go. So as we spoke on this book as a macrocosm of what goes on nationally and internationally, it also pays for you to pay attention to what goes on, because the minds of the masses are mush, and they are educated, and they are infected with certain things and ideologies. So pay attention to who you speak to. Pay attention to what you say when you say it, and you know, walk circumspect. Okay, so this is Ephesians 6:11. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Okay, and that is them to a T. Do not be caught up in things that, you know, basically, if you exercise a little wisdom, that you could have been avoided. So with that being said, you know, this was kind of a bounce around, a tough one to really get into. You know, to be completely honest, I don't think the spirit was fully on, but you know, I want to pray on it and come back with a part 2, and maybe, you know, prayerfully you're edified with this, but also with the part 2, you can even be further edified. I can get a little more scriptures, kind of gain my footing on what I wanted to get into. But this was mainly an introductory, just to kind of open up and see what we can glean from this book. All right. So with that being said, I truly pray that you were edified. Shalom.